But now we welcome on Bryan Fonseca, one of our good friends on this program, to break down what we saw last night in Minneapolis and make it make sense as we get ready for a Game 7 on Sunday back in Denver inside the Mile High City. Fonseca, thank you for being here on what has become a chaotic Friday for us on the early line.
Yeah, I woke up to that Scottie Scheffler news is what I was telling you guys earlier. And as somebody who doesn't watch or cover a ton of golf, I know who that is. So that seems like a pretty big story. But yes, thank you for having me. Excited to talk about some other things.
Yes, Scottie Scheffler is the world #1 golfer. Some of the police, it would seem, in Louisville did not know who was involved in that situation. Bryan, one of the shocking things I also woke up to this morning, a 45-point victory for the Minnesota Timberwolves in game number 6 over the Denver Nuggets. Minnesota covers easily, winning 115-70 as a 2.5-point home favorite. It is the largest margin of victory in an NBA playoff game in nearly a decade since 2015. Fonseca, I'm not sure truly how to describe what we saw yesterday in Minneapolis, so I ask you, how did the Timberwolves win by 45 and force a 7th game?
Just one of those 2024 NBA games that gets away from a team very early. We actually saw this early on in this series when it looked like Minnesota was going to sweep Denver at one point before Denver rallied to win 3 straight. Denver scored 9 points in the fourth quarter, 9. And by that point, I don't think a lot of people were watching the game anymore. To me, it was pretty shocking as somebody who had Denver because I have Denver winning the series. And I was like, all right, going into game 6, take them game 6. And if they lose, hammer them game 7, which is what I still plan to do regardless, because you can't really judge a series on a game to game basis because it sounds stupid, but every game is different, an entirely different experience. This isn't going to happen, most likely, when we get to Denver. And it was the second biggest blowout of the month, the first being the battle between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. And I think Denver scored more points in that than Drake did in that battle. So, yeah.
Oof.
Bryan, if we take a look at this series overall, and also from the Minnesota Timberwolves perspective, come right into the playoffs and knock out the Suns in 4 games in a sweep, then handle their business on the road against Denver in elevation. It looks like we were just going to crown them. All right, let's move them forward to the Western Conference Finals. Then we saw the heart of a champion, the Nuggets, 3 straight victories here. And you're right about this. We expected to saddle up to the TV last night and watch an unbelievable performance from 2 superstar players in Jokic and Edwards. We didn't really need those superstar performances because the game got out of hand in the second half. So let me ask you this. How do you rebound if you're Denver from getting smoked by that much? Was it just a wrap like, you know what, second half, let's just not get injured. Let's send the guys to the bench. We'll get these guys in game number 7. How do you come back from a butt whipping like they saw last night?
Yeah, and I felt like early on they were actually getting good looks. One of the things people quickly forget about the game is they actually built the 9-2 lead to start it. So they were outscored whatever to whatever. I'm not going to do the math here because math on the radio and on TV is boring. But like I think ultimately making shots would help, and they did get good looks. Jamal Murray just has not gotten going this series. And that's one of the things we sort of projected going into this was Jamal Murray was going to struggle defensively, whether it be because he sees Nickeil Alexander-Walker, whether it be because he sees Jaden McDaniels or whomever else, maybe even Anthony Edwards at times. But yeah, I didn't expect this to be a Jamal Murray series, but I'd expect he'd have an impactful game by now. He kind of hasn't for the most part. 2 for 14 at one point last night, and by then I kind of tuned the rest of the game out because it was already a 40-point affair. So I'm not sure like where it actually ended for Jamal Murray, but it was bad. And ultimately, I think he's somebody that you have to get going, unless Nikola Jokic is going to do the thing again. But like I know when he sees Rudy Gobert one-on-one, he salivates. I don't know how much they're going to risk that if they're Minnesota. They're probably going to try to defend Nikola Jokic differently in game 7. But Jamal Murray getting going would help. He needs to make shots.
Jamal Murray in game 2, that 26-point blowout for the T-Wolves on the road in Denver, 3 of 18. Last night, Jamal Murray, 4 of 18. The Nuggets as a team shot 30% and just 7 of 36 from beyond the arc. That's how you score only 70 points in an NBA playoff game. Game 7 at altitude on Sunday. The Nuggets currently listed as a 4.5-point favorite, total at 197.5.